The reality is she's just not stable.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have.
Great. Okay? Fucking great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored.
It's wrong and backwards and it's not 1937, whatever. That was like her initial spree and everyone was like, okay, do you want to be Snow White or do you hate Snow White? Do you want to destroy Snow White? Trump wins, and Rachel decides to go on really just a psychopathic, demented rant.
And Disney decided to hire the most insufferable girl boss narcissist that exists on Earth, who hates Snow White.
If I'm Bob Iger, you know what we're doing? Emergency meeting. We're putting Snow White on hold for 2 years, and guess what?
Smart.
Pay her a couple $1,000,000, go away. We're going to bring another person to play this role.
You know, other movie companies are going to look at her and they're going to say box office poison. And a lot of this is due to her behavior leading up to the film's release.
They're leaning in.
Or what?
They're leaning into woke. Hardcore.
They're petrified
Yeah.
of some kind of backlash. I mean, you see with Disney now. I mean, Disney, one of the most gay-friendly companies.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
I'm honored.
So with Snow White, let's go through this, right? There's no prince. Woman doesn't need a prince.
Oh, Lord.
Really? Okay, good
Shut
luck
up.
back then. He doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
So yeah,
My agent would have punched me in the face if I was up there saying some stupid what an investment.
Did Disney's $270 million Snow White gamble crash and burn because of Rachel Zegler's bold moves? Or is she just the fall guy for a cursed production? The live-action remake, meant to dazzle audiences in March 2025, pulled in a measly $87 million worldwide on opening weekend. A disaster for a film hyped as a modern fairy tale. From racist casting backlash to fiery political feuds, this project spiraled into one of Disney's messiest flops ever. Let's unpack the chaos that turned a beloved classic into a cautionary tale, and why Zegler's name is at the heart of it all.
It has proven to be Disney's worst investment ever in the history of Disney investments. I mean, they've gone through various scandals with this girl, but because she has this underlying anger and hatred in her that always has to take it like one step too far.
The trouble started the moment Rachel Zegler was cast as Snow White in 2021. Fans of the 1937 original, where the princess is famously white as snow, lost it over Zegler's Colombian heritage. Social media erupted with ugly racist rants, claiming she didn't fit the fairest of them all mold. Disney scrambled to rewrite the story, saying Snow White's name came from surviving a blizzard as a baby, not her skin tone. It was a clever dodge, but the damage was done. Zegler was already a lightning rod, and the film hadn't even started shooting, but that was just the beginning of the storm.
And I get it, there's a difference between spoiling and whatever, but to go out and badmouth everybody and talk smack about, I mean, older movies in the same franchise, the canon story, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I feel like they would have had better control over that.
Zegler didn't help her case when she took aim at the original Snow White. In 2022 interviews at Disney's D23 Expo, she called the 1937 cartoon extremely dated, slamming its focus on a stalker prince and outdated views on women. "We're making her a leader, not a damsel," she told Variety, doubling down on a progressive vision. Disney purists were livid, accusing her of trashing a cherished classic. TikTok and X lit up with fans calling her ungrateful and woke, while others praised her for updating a dusty fairy tale. The divide grew, and Zegler's every word became a headline, but her comments weren't the only thing stirring the pot.
Jonah Platt, whose father helped produce the latest Snow White film, had some very harsh words for star Rachel Zegler.
For context, Variety wrote a report recently titled "Inside Disney's Snow White Fiasco: Death Threats, Beefed Up Security, and a Social Media Guru" for Rachel Zegler.
Whispers of tension between Zegler and her co-star Gal Gadot, cast as the evil queen, started leaking from the set. Insiders described cool silences and averted glances during filming, hinting at clashing personalities. Zegler's push for a moral reimagining reportedly grated on Gadot, who leaned into the fairy tale's classic charm. Promotional photo shoots were a nightmare, with one eyewitness claiming Zegler stormed off after a glib remark from Gadot. Disney hoped joint appearances, like their Oscar presentation in March 2025, would squash feud rumors, but the stiffness between them was palpable, and soon a bigger issue would dwarf their personal beef.
And then they couldn't put dwarfs because this is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
The Israel-Palestine conflict threw gasoline on the fire. Godot, a former Israeli Defense Forces member, has been vocal about her pro-Israel stance, notably denouncing Hamas in a 2025 speech. Zegler, meanwhile, signed an artists for ceasefire letter and posted Free Palestine on X in August 2024, right after the Snow White trailer dropped. Both stars faced boycotts. Pro-Palestine and pro-Israel protesters even clashed at Godot's Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony. The polarized reactions turned the film into a political battlefield, alienating chunks of Disney's audience. But the chaos didn't stop at politics.
So even though woke in some sense feels like it's dead, it still has to run its course through the system. The ghosts have to get out of the machine in essence.
Production was a train wreck from the start. A COVID delay, a fire on set, and the 2023 writers and actors strikes pushed the release from 2024 to March 2025. Reshoots piled up as editors struggled to hide the lead's lack of chemistry, with some scenes reportedly stitched together from separate shots. Costs ballooned to $270 million, not counting $140 million in marketing per deadline. Disney's dream of a sleek, progressive remake was crumbling under the weight of bad decisions and worse luck. And when the premiere rolled around, things got even uglier.
This girl took the money and then decided that she wanted to go out there and, you know what, I'm going to take my stand. Well, you should have made that stand before you took the money to promote a film, because that's not in line with your job description.
Right.
Disney's March 15th, 2025 premiere was a shadow of its usual glitz, limited to house photographers and crew to dodge tough questions. Zegler's absence from Godot's Walk of Fame event days later fueled speculation of a full-blown feud. She later said she skipped it over political themes she couldn't endorse, but fans saw it as a snub. The scaled-back rollout screamed damage control, and Variety reported Disney was petrified of more backlash. Social media buzzed with clips of Zegler's old interviews, reigniting debates about her woke agenda, but the real blow came at the box office.
I think this is their policies coming back to bite them. They went woke.
Yeah.
She went out and said stuff woke that was going to hurt the film. They couldn't come out and go against her, because then you're going after somebody for saying what you say you believe.
When Snow White hit theaters, it tanked hard. Projections of $45 to $55 million domestically fell flat, and the global $87 million opening was a fraction of what Disney needed to break even. Deadline estimated a $115 million loss, calling it one of Disney's biggest bombs. IMDb slapped a warning on the film's 1.6 out of 10 rating, citing unusual voting activity with 91% one-star reviews, a clear sign of review bombing. Critics gave it a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes, praising Zegler's charm but slamming the artificial sheen. The negative buzz had won, and fingers started pointing, mostly at Zegler.
But at the same time, like, I think going forward, they're going to be like, hey, shut up.
Yeah.
Tight-lipped. Otherwise, guess what? We're clawing back some money.
Yeah. This would have been a lot better if they, had a strong male along with her, a prince, if it wasn't about socialism.
Disney insiders pounced, painting Zegler as the villain. Variety's bombshell report claimed producer Mark Platt flew to New York to rein in her Free Palestine posts, and rumors swirled that she was begging for money to save her career. Some outlets, like the Daily Mail, alleged she was soliciting funds from execs or financiers after the flop. Her camp never confirmed it, but the narrative stuck. Zegler was box office poison, too risky for studios. Yet supporters like Melissa Barrera and journalist Mark Harris rallied behind her, calling the blame game a hit job. So was she set up to fail? Now, Zegler's future hangs in the balance. At 23, she's still a raw talent, with West Side Story and the Hunger Games prequel under her belt. But the Snow White fallout has studios wary. Ex-posts, like one from Michael Franzese, claim she ruined the film with her psychopathic rants, while others, like at Geekly Goods, praise her charm. Godot, with her established fanbase, seems unscathed, but Zegler's newer status makes her vulnerable. Can she shake the narcissist label and rebound, or will this fiasco haunt her? And what about Disney's remake machine? Has it finally run out of magic? This Snow White saga isn't just a Hollywood flop, it's a mirror to our divided times, where every tweet can spark a war and every casting choice a riot. Zegler's boldness, her push to modernize a fairy tale and speak her mind, made her a hero to some and a target to others. As the dust settles, one question lingers. Will she rise like a phoenix, or is this the end of her fairy tale? Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you want more Hollywood drama, hit that subscribe button for the next wild story.